Hello everyone, and welcome to the first video in a little series I will be calling Dragon Ball Super Staff Roundup. In this series, I'll be taking a look at the various members of the staff who work on the show. This will mostly involve animators for now, although I do also plan on making videos dedicated to other roles, such as scriptwriters, storyboard artists, and so on. But I'm admittedly less familiar with those, and as such, they may require a little more research on my end. Before we get into things, I feel as though there are a few terms I'll use here that might be lost on people who aren't familiar with the animation making process. So before you watch this video, or any of the other videos in this series that I plan on making, I highly recommend checking out this fantastic blog post from washiblog.wordpress.com, which is a very great guide to anime production. Kanzenshuu.com also has a great production guide as well. I will of course put a link to both of these in the description below. This video will be about Toma Seizo, one of the 6 animation supervisors currently in the regular rotation for Dragon Ball Super. This is going to be a biography of sorts, but please keep in mind that information for Toma is pretty difficult to find, so this might not be extremely in-depth. Still, I believe Toma might be a pretty good candidate to start with, in order to get some feedback for these so I know what I need to improve on in the future. That being said, here is episode 1 of the Dragon Ball Super Staff Roundup. The earliest credit I can find for Toma's early work in television animation was in 1994 with the soccer anime Aoki Densetsu Shoot, also known as Blue Legend Shoot. He was credited as a key animator for episode 12, and he would go on to be credited with contributing key animation for 6 other episodes, 20, 24, 33, 40, 47, and 53. Toma has had his name attached to many popular anime over the years. He's provided key animation for series like Naruto, Fairy Tail, and Toriko. His key animation has been featured in numerous films and specials also, including One Piece movies 6 and 10, as well as various Lupin the Third specials and OVAs. Toma has been credited as an animation supervisor as early as 1998, where he was the supervisor for episode 8 of the supernatural horror anime Devil Lady. He also found work in the 2001 anime Beyblade. He was the animation supervisor for episodes 17 and 24. Prior to Dragon Ball Super, Toma worked on an episode of the Marvel series Disc Wars Avengers. He supervised episode 27 and also provided key animation for it. Interestingly enough, Dragon Ball Super does not seem to be Toma's first experience with the franchise. In fact, he is credited with in-between animation for Dragon Ball Z Movie 6, and he worked on the 10th anniversary movie as an assistant animation director, a role he shared with quite a few talented people, such as Tomita Yoshikazu, Miyahara Naoki, and Hisada Kazuya. While his characters might not stand out all of the time, there are a few unique traits in Toma's work to watch out for. For example, Toma tends to have very jagged facial features, with pointy chins, sharp noses, and highly detailed expressions. In fact, expressive characters seem to be one of Toma's many strengths, as he excels at adding a ton of emotion and life into his art and animation. The 1999 anime Better Man even hired Toma to be a character director for episode 18, which essentially means that he was an animation supervisor of sorts, making sure that the characters were appropriately expressive. If you really want a showcase of what Toma loves to do, and what he is great at, I have to once again mention episode 27 of Disc Wars. This episode served to introduce the ever-popular Deadpool into the series, and it is absolutely packed with wonderful stuff. Hilarious comedic faces, extremely detailed expressions, and other wonderful drawings are littered throughout the episode, making it a pure treat. It can be difficult to add so much life and character to someone wearing a mask, but Toma absolutely nailed it here. The other characters were also given their fair share of good-looking drawings, but as he always does, Deadpool really steals the show here. Toma was the absolute perfect candidate for that episode, and I'm sure Toei realized this as well. If you're a fan of Deadpool, or of interesting character acting in general, it might just be worth a watch or two. Toma joined the Dragon Ball Super staff in episode 4, where he was the animation supervisor as well as a key animator. Episode 4 had a lot of focus on the Pilaf gang, and was full of great comedic faces and character moments. Episode 4 was actually very unique in terms of the visuals, as there were many instances in which character outlines were very thick, which led to some very interesting frames and sequences. This makes Toma's drawings pretty distinct, and it can sometimes be easy to spot his work whenever it pops up. Another defining feature of Toma's in Super is the way in which he occasionally draws the eyes of the female characters. Even though he has done work for the series outside of episode 4, he has yet to work on another episode as the only credited animation supervisor, as long as you don't count the chief animation supervisor credit, that is, which is another topic for another day. Toma returned to Dragon Ball Super for episode 33, where he and Kitano Yukihiro were both listed as animation supervisors. His latest supervision effort was episode 41, where he worked alongside Ishikawa Osamu. It should be noted that his work for episode 41 is undoubtedly the farthest from his work for episode 4 so far. While episode 33 had a decent amount of frames obviously drawn by Toma, it is really hard to pick apart his work for 41. I'm not quite sure why this is, but my only theory is that either Toma is dropping his signature style for now, or the higher-ups wanted the duo episodes to be a little more consistent looking. I also theorize that he might have supervised the initial dragon summoning, but of course that's just a gut theory. It is unclear if Toma will continue to be paired with other supervisors, but only time will tell. If Toma continues to be a part of the rotation and follows the current pattern of supervisors getting about 6 weeks between episodes, we could see Toma again as early as episode 47, although with recent news that newcomers Sadatoshi Matsuzaka and Onishi Yoichi were the supervisors for episode 43, we might see him get an extra week, which would leave him with episode 48. That's just pure speculation on my part though. I have no idea if or when Toma will be back. However, I certainly hope that he will be back, and soon.